Hey, everybody. I got Steve in here too. I wasn't going to bring you in that early, Steve, but here, let me fix this so we're the same size.
What's
Well,
up?
for those of you, and Steve included, who are expecting Kasra to be handling the interview tonight, surprise, surprise, Kasra's a little busy, so I'm going to be doing it. So welcome to the show, Steve.
It's all right. I think between you and I, we talk enough to fill up the show, anyways. So it's all good.
Yeah, well, I would probably agree with you. So how is, I guess congratulations are in order before we get started, right? I did hear that you are a new father.
Yes, I am. I had a son named Dante, my first one, about a week and a half ago. So he's doing great. I was gonna bring him on a little bit, wearing like a nice Marvel shirt or something there, but he's taking a nap. So when he's napping, I let him do that so that I can get other stuff done.
I hear you. Well, I'm glad you're raising him right by focusing on the Marvel side of things. We knew that already anyway. But
Yeah, it's sitting on my lap. I have a piano, so hopefully, I want him to, play piano instead of guitar, because then I can actually he could be in the band and not play guitar with me.
oh man, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. You're a guy who's not only a well-known art collector, but you are well known in other circles. You're creative in so many ways that you put most of us to shame. You're almost somebody that shouldn't exist in some ways, but you do, and that's what's cool. So it's
Yeah,
so much so that
my handle at Dead Code Halborn Lakeview Collection kind of like sums up, I guess, the three aspects of my life that I take seriously. Dead Code being the music side, which is my band. Happened to be wearing the hoodie. I didn't do it on purpose for marketing. But, yes, my band. I'm a producer and own a recording studio, so I love music. Is like my number one passion. And then Halborn is my like my company that I founded. It's a cybersecurity company. So we hack people so bad guys don't hack them first. And I'm the CTO for that. Been around for like 5 years, and that helps pay the bills for all the art for the Lakeview Collection. So that's the third part, is the art collection. The other, the passion for it.
So for those young, art, budding art collectors out there, if they're thinking about a future, becoming a good hacker and being able to safeguard companies from being hacked is a good profession to go into.
Cybersecurity is great. It's always a need for security, no matter what. Even stuff coming out like AI right now is like AI security. Well, so it's when there's new technology, there's always somebody that's going to try to break it and do bad things with it. So it's fun. Plus, hacking is kind of an art form in its own. Yeah, like different type of art, just like programming. So I always looked at it as like a creative approach to everything too, which is interesting. Even mobile apps too. Like you guys have new, the Comic Art Fans mobile app, something that I could do security reviews on, helping you guys out and making sure bad things
I
don't
think
happen to
we could use that.
that.
Yeah, see, Marcus is even saying in the chat, can you check if the CAF app is vulnerable? Yeah, we'll probably be requesting something along those lines in the future. So, but what started first? So you got music, you've got, computers and hacking and coding. I mean,
Yeah.
what came first out of all of this, and a passion for the arts in general?
So first, what came first was card collecting. To be honest, in like
Yeah.
elementary school, the very first one, like I'll show when we get to the art, was the set I collected, Marvel cards when I was in like fourth grade, and so I really like that. Just my parents did baseball cards, so got me into that, and I always like comic books more, so I did comic cards, and then guitar was around seventh grade. So, what was I like 12, 13 years old, played guitar. The music came, and the music's been consistent throughout my life. Since then, different bands. I got signed to Capitol Records once, and I went on tour with Bon Jovi and Metallica, opening up for them in my other band, like not famous, the band that like, hey, get them off. I want to watch Metallica. It was great. So we had a rock band. Then I did some production for various artists, and now my latest band is kind of doing what I like, with like industrial rock, metal, dance, like just a hodgepodge of all my favorite things, just having fun with it. So yeah, that's been the order. The hacking part of it all was really, I've always been into computers, and even like doing Game Genie and like cheat codes and trying to hack games early on, to computer science, which I have my master's degree in. And then when I got into computer science, that's when I went down the cybersecurity path, and started first defending and then became the offensive. Blue team, red team. So I was infatuated with bad guys. How are they doing it? And then I would study it, and then I would pretend to be the bad guy.
Got it. No, that's cool. I never had the I never had that kind of fortitude to get it that deep into coding, and stuck with the art side of things. But I was out there with my TRS-80s in the library in 8th grade in 1982. Trying to learn how to code and stuff. It was always fun. But
I think coding is an art. Coding is an art form in itself. There's multiple ways to do it. It's not just like one way to code. Everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own the ultimate goal. I actually think video games is like the ultimate art form in a way, because you're combining coding and you're combining like art, and you're combining storytelling, like narrative art in a way, with games like RPGs have big stories. You have architectural, like digital rendering and building worlds, and you have music inside of it. It's like all the art forms together in one.
Why aren't you doing game design? Or is that's in the future?
Okay, that's actually what I started doing computer science for, was to build video games. And it just, when I started doing that, the magic of the video games started to go away. And I'm like, oh no, because I would I kind of was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just do the coding, but I don't want to make the games. I'll leave the mystique there instead. It's the reason why I collect art, because I'm really bad at painting and drawing, and I never went down it because I don't want to analyze it. I want to appreciate it.
Sure.
Like what I do with music. Every time I listen to a song, I'm like analyzing it. Like, oh, kick drums, like sounds bad. That voice, too much auto tune, whatever. It's like I can't enjoy it anymore. Just like.
No, I get it, but that's both my daughters were in school for game design. Basically, one's a Full Sail and one's a UCF, but that's where their passion lies, is in not so much the programming side, but in the art side of it, the 3D design.
They're artistic. Yeah, see, game design is artistic for sure. Yeah, they don't have to do programming to do game design. There's lots of different things you could do with game design too. 3D rendering models, and you could just market the game. There's all kinds of things.
Exactly. So well, let's get back to you. Cards were early, for you, but when do you make the segue to actually picking up your first piece of art?
Yeah, so we're going to go through some of my collection here one by one. I might as well just show the first one, because that kind of ties in with the card collecting. When I was back when I was in like a 4th, 5th grade elementary school, and we did all the games, and we did baseball card shows and stuff, I collected comic cards. And this is one of the art pieces here from 1990, Marvel Impel, Marvel Universe. And it's really the first card set I ever collected, like long time ago. 1990, what was that, like 34 years ago? Crazy. So this is Mephisto. I don't know if everybody recognizes. It's very this is one of the most iconic card sets in Marvel, and this is the original art for it by Tom Morgan. So this isn't the first piece I got. This is the first card set that I collected from Marvel, and I picked this one up from my friend Fausto a little while ago, and then I got it framed up here with with the card, the front and the back on it. It's by Tom Morgan, who did the majority of the set himself here, and the coloring is after. This is the inks for that one.
Yeah, that's cool. I think when we had Fausto on, he had at least one piece by Tom Morgan, a Silver Surfer, maybe. So he's picked up a few. Yeah, of course, exactly.
Yeah, so this is a great one. It's super iconic. I like this card a lot too. I like all the cards in the set. And I would saw a lot of them recently coming up on Heritage too for certain ones here. But yeah, that's my first card set, and then Marvel Impel 2 and so on and so forth for that, and Masterpieces, which there. So my first piece ever though was Dormammu from this set right here behind me, the 2018 Simon Bianchi Masterpieces.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018, and that's my first set. My first piece was that, and it was much later, of course, obviously there, because it's very expensive for this, and I couldn't afford it until I was a big boy and had a job and stuff.
But did you know about art collecting, or for the cards before 2018, or whenever you made that first purchase for the 2018 card?
I've seen some art, but kind of passively avoided it because I would see it and I would just, I wish I could have that. And then, if I did, I just, like, I think I got that one from Comic Connect, actually. Vincent Zerzullo. I was getting comic books first, and on the store, the comic books, and they had the art too. And I was like, oh man, let me just get a piece. And I remember that first piece of seeing it, I was like, holy crap, like this is the real thing, just like the card, but it's actually the one made. And it was mind blowing. So it kind of became an addiction, and here I am now, like surrounded by tons of it.
But you didn't, unlike a lot of us art collectors who, started out with comics, when we get to the art, we kind of ignore the comics after that. Not 100%, not everybody, but I'd say 70% of people who collect, decide to focus all of their finances on art after they discover it.
I agree. I don't think I've gotten many comic books, since I started getting really heavy into the art. Still have like the classics. I read the comics too. Funny, like one thing that's very different than me than other people is I don't watch like the movies or TV too much. So all like for Marvel in particular, all the superheroes, the last show I saw was like I think Doctor Strange, like years ago, which is very odd to me. Like I like the comic books, so I read those. And then just the cards and stuff. So that's very interesting. But yeah, the comics still have them, but I don't actively go and get much. I'm always looking at art and cards now. That's it.
Right, but so you still get the cards though, even if you've kind of abandoned the comics. The cards are still a big part of your life. Not as far as the physical trading cards themselves.
Yeah, because it's very active community with like the cards and the art that comes with the cards too. A lot of like the paintings, like the large format art, is for the cards most of the time. Comics are usually the inks and then pencils and stuff and then the pages that they have for there, and that's like a rabbit hole that go down because there's so many comic books come out and so many pages, and it's I like the stuff like this that we're seeing here, like the fully painted stuff, and that's mostly for cards. And there's a lot of it. We'll see how much more though. Like Upper Deck not really doing Marvel cards anymore, so that'll definitely change things a bit, here in the next 2 days.
There are a lot of question marks for 2025, I think.
Yep. But so there's still a lot of art out there to collect though. So we'll see.
Exactly. So Kazra says you broke a case of 24 Marvel masterpieces just last night. So yes, you haven't given up on the cards at all.
Not at all. Yep, I broke that case there for with the artist too. That's another reason why I like the cards. I mean, you can like break the case, look at the cards, talk about the art with the artist that made that. That was who we had on yesterday. When's the last time you like read the comic book with like the comic book artist and like, oh, really? I don't know.
Not often. Exactly. Yeah. But that's why we love the hobby too, as art collectors. It's that opportunity to get to know the artists that you're buying the art from. Especially if you're more of a modern art collector.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it would be cool though, like to sit there as like, hey, Jim Starlin, let's like read, Infinity Wars together.
I'm totally with you. I'm trying to imagine, doing that. I could see, some of the reps taking that on as an opportunity to, they could do an art drop and a discussion with the artist at the time of the art drop while, reading through the comic that they're dropping or something. Somebody will try it at some point. But no, I get it. That is what we love about the hobby as well, is just getting to know the people who are making the art and writing
cards
the
are very addicting too. Cards is like the way that they make them now with like the rare serialized cards with it. It's like gambling almost, and it's like hitting the jackpot or lottery because sometimes the cards are worth more than the original art, and it's like this is insane. Wow.
So you're not equating the trading cards to like the people who go for the scratch card tickets, going for the multi-billion-dollar, but it's similar to that, right? There's an unknown every time you pick up a box or case.
Yeah, like there's a box. Yeah, the box. The one that was yesterday was the Marvel Masterpieces 2024, which just came out last week, and a case of it is like $6,500, which is pretty big. It's a lot of money. And the cards inside of them, there's different rarities in them. Like you'll get like one case hit, so it's like, well, what's the value for that? I mean, it's just a piece of paper that somebody printed, so artificial scarcity. But No, it's a collectible type thing. So, and you're appreciating the art for it. Like everything that's on there for this set is the art. You're looking at the art that the artist had done, and the true one of one is the actual original art for that too. So, but if they did that, nobody would be able to share and appreciate it unless you go to, OAX and go look at the art in person.
Exactly. James asks, what do you do with the thousands of base cards that you end up with? The ones that aren't the ones.
Well, I have them here. It's from yesterday, my thousands of base cards. What I do is I make my set, and after I have my set, my retired bored parents that live about 30 minutes away, I drop it off at their house, and they sort them and they sell them on eBay for me. So it keeps them busy.
Well, they used to collect sports cards, right? You mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I got into it because of them. When I was a kid, I would go to the shows with them, and so they love doing it. For them, it's either sit at home all day, go get dementia, and watch like Price is Right or something, like or play bingo. Or now they're like, my mom is like all the eBay, like posting it, taking the pictures. My dad's like the shipping and packaging, sorting, and they love it. I pay them for it too, and it keeps them safe. And it's actually I see them a lot more now because of this too.
So they live nearby. That's good.
Yeah, they live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in Miami.
Wonderful. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so you're going to be doing a little bit of box breaking at OAX as well, and we could talk a little bit about that. I mean, because I've watched a few videos and everything, but I don't know what a battle entails. So what's that room going to be like during the show?
It's something new, so I don't think it's been done. Like box breaks are not a new concept. It's actually getting real popular with Whatnot right now, where they'll open up boxes on live stream, and you can pick a character and like pay for the character, and if all the characters that come out of there you hit. So that's like the standard box break concept. Box break battle, I think it's like a head-to-head. So you have two of the same boxes, and as you open them, it's kind of like a pack wars type thing, which is EPAC, where it's there'll be different criteria, like the best highest tier character, the highest numbered character, or on the back of them sometimes they have stats. So it'll be like the character from this pack that has the highest strength, is the winner for it, and you start getting points, based on what the characters are inside. So it could be based on rarity, it could be based on stats of the characters, could be based on a certain a character hit, could be based on a subset. So those categories are going to be kind of revealed at the box break battle, and you get those points as you open up the packs in your box. Of course, you keep the cards yourself, and there's prizes for the winner, for that, and there'll be kind of like a esports type of event for it.
Exactly. That's going to be cool. I mean, it's going to be, is that room going to be live streamed the whole time? I know there's going to be a lot of recording going on throughout the CAX area, but
yep, definitely. We're going to have for an audience so they can see what's going on, because obviously the cards are small and they're in their hands, have cameras on it, just like a normal box break, with projectors or an LED wall is there displaying it as it goes on for each competitor. And we can live stream it for everybody to watch out there. I was actually, we'll see how it goes. It's first year doing the concepts, and so might be some bugs, but if there's any ties or whatever, like tiebreakers, we get an audience participation, kind of like set up a voting thing, like two people hit one Wolverine and a Spider-Man. It's like, which one's better? It's like, I don't know, let the crowd decide.
Yeah, we've got James in the audience has several pages from that Wolverine versus Spider-Man book. We should just throw him in the room and let him decide between those two characters. But that's going to be fun. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are experimenting.
Yeah, I like creating. I like doing stuff that's new all the time. That's my passion. It's like I don't like copying other people's ideas. I like making new ideas, and sometimes most of the time they work, sometimes they don't, but hey, you learn something. This one just seems fun and easy, and like what's the worst that can happen is like people open cards and have fun. That's it.
Exactly. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. I mean, and you've got a booth. You have a booth set up too, right? With
So I'll be bringing up a bunch of cards and art. We'll go through the art here, the my collection. I'll bring up a few there to show. There'll be some for sale too, to purchase if you're getting into the hobby, and there'll be a bunch of booths for the cards too. So OAX, this is the CAX Card Art Expo. So it's a mini convention within the convention for card art and the cards themselves. So there's a lot of my pals, they'll have their cards there, sketch cards, some of the trading cards, and then the art representing for that. So yes, and my parents will be there to help sell it too, so I can go out there and participate. Guys, you're going on a business. You're going on a business trip. Let's go.
So when you're doing the box breaks, they'll be in the booth, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, last OAX, me and Jose had our art there, and I felt I didn't get to explore, like see all the art like of other vendors, and you'll get some stuff because I was attending my the gallery there. So I actually want to. I'm a buyer, not a seller, so I want to go and look at stuff.
Right. Well, then there you go. We want you walking the halls, Steve. We don't want you
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you need one of my kids to sit in your booth because your parents need a break and you want to be out there shopping in one of the rooms, you just let me know. I've got 3 of them there. They're very responsible. I'll be happy to donate their time to your booth.
Yeah. So yeah, we have some custom cards that we're making to bring as prizes and attendees, and for the different events there. There'll be like limited serial numbered rare ones, for attending it, for participating last year, and for the winners of the box break battle, and the contenders. So those will be shown and seen when we get there. We did reveal one of them last time. Casper and I had the stream. So that'll be super cool. And they're all representations of art from artists that will be at the event.
Very cool. Yeah, that's part of the fun of the overall event is doing things that are engaging the creators that are there. People. I remember in the first show there was one collector who had a lot of artwork that wasn't signed, and the inker of those pages was at the show. So they bring 15, 20 pages with them and get them signed, and that sparks up a whole different conversation about reminiscing about doing the work. I mean, that's I don't know. OAS is such a wonderful opportunity that you can pretty much make anything out of it that you want. We can kind of guide you and give you, we give you the floor, we give you the guests, et cetera, and then you kind of make what you want out of it. And I think that's, and you're doing just that with CAX clearly. But I think any collector that walks in the door should be looking at OAX as a really big opportunity to tackle things that maybe they've always wanted to with other creators, other collectors that are there. And yeah, I mean, and it's a lot like CAF. I always discover something new. Like somebody will tell me that, oh, I've done this on CAF for years, and I'm like, I never even thought people would have ever done something like that. So you just give them the tool and let them kind of run with it.
Yeah, I would love to, kind of like being one of the the hosts of the CAX part in the future as it grows. Even have lessons like artists. You can attend a workshop for a day with whoever is the artist at the time that's going to be there, and they can teach all the aspiring artists some of their techniques there in person, face to face. I think that I would love that if I were an artist. So things like that, and expanding it out. I like Magic the Gathering, not just Marvel. It's my other big collection. Actually, probably more than Marvel is Magic the Gathering, as far as like value wise. So Magic art is a huge it's still card art, but it's a huge community that's been around much longer than I think even the Marvel art, because of how much there is out there. Magic is humongous. And then sketch cards too, sketch cards from Marvel. So we'll have like the last year and again this year, we'll have blank sketch cards that you can go and get some of the artists to draw sketches on there. Actually, I think I have one around here from somewhere. I'll pull out.
Did you get some of the new ones that we had printed up, or is this a different set that you guys have worked on?
This is from last year.
Oh, last year's set. Okay.
Yeah. I think I have. I got. We printed them up, and I had Eric Grove, who was an artist there last year. So do I have it with me regularly? I have to pull it out. So I had Eric Grove do it, but they look like this. This is the one there, but they have. They'll have a blank sketch like around that, and then you can go and getting the artists to go and draw a character you like on there for commission for that. So it's great way to do some small sketches, and I think it's going to be super fun. And we're popular last year. Last year, we'll do it again this year.
Yeah, it definitely was. That was. I don't know. It's not like it's a surprise, but I think it was fun for people, especially during that free sketch period on Monday to kind of get around. Which one is that?
So this is from last year's OAX,
Yes.
2024. So Eric Grove, this was blank, and then this is what he drew for me, my favorite character.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Thanos
not a
in here.
sketch though. That's a commission practically. Eric really did some great work while he was there on the show
He took it
floor.
serious. He was like, "Oh, Steve wants one. I gotta make it good."
No, that's awesome. I saw well, a couple of the artists. I think Miles did a couple painted pieces there. Did Bianchi bring them, or did he do a few on the floor? I mean, either way, it's like you saw
Just on the
saw
floor.
painted pieces. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yep. Speaking of Bianchi, yeah, here's a Bianchi sketch card of Thanos too, right there.
wow. Yeah, he knows a thing or two about painting.
Yeah, he does. He's very prolific. He does it very fast and consistent, and that's why he did the masterpieces. Like behind me, these are all Bianchi's, and that card set is just one artist that does all, usually between 100 and 140 paintings within a year. So yeah, no time to waste.
Exactly. If people are wondering why their commissions or whatnot are late, or maybe Simone's not going to as many shows in a certain period, that might have been why, because he was
Yeah.
busy with that.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was awesome. Like so, card art. A lot of the boxes that you get, these sketch cards come out of the packs too randomly, depending on the set you have. Some of them, like Marvel Platinum, is one of the sets that was super popular last year, and those sketch cards are so rare. Like Miles did some for that set, and I'd say like 1 in maybe 20 cases you'll get a sketch card, and then there's other ones where you have like two or three sketches per box. So all depends.
That's gotta well, okay, I was gonna say it sucks when you only get 1 out of 20 sketch cards, with the box that you're opening, but I guess that's part of the excitement about it. I mean, it
Yeah.
even makes it even more rare. It must add value to the card because your chances of getting, a sketch card out of that set is so rare.
And then you get like different artists in there. So popular artists of this set, will be worth a lot more too. And there's like some of the popular sketch artists that are in the recent Marvel sets. We invited them to CAX, so they'll be there. But Ash Gonzalez, he's awesome. He'll be there, and he's a very popular sketch artist. PJ Katakutan, he's another sketch artist that'll be there, and his stuff, it's very exciting whenever you get one of those out of the packs. Liddy Lee, she's not going to be there, but Liddy Lee is great. So there's many like sketch artists that are incredible, and there's some classic comic artists too, like Joe Rubinstein is he does sketch cards too. Sometimes you'll find them in the packs, but so it's pretty cool.
Kaiser says, "Don't forget Tony Perna." I was going to say it.
Yeah, I didn't say his name because I haven't gotten a sketch from him out of a pack yet. So.
Well, yeah. Well, there you go. You got to hold out until you get one. But yeah, I think Tony's in the chat. I saw him earlier. But and I saw Kazra was mentioning that even Veronica Fish did some great sketch cards as far as the free ones that we gave out last year. Yeah, there were a lot of good cards. I saw some sketch cards that Bill Morrison did. I mean, the artists that worked on them, I think, had a good time. Hopefully, we'll have even more artists opting into doing the free sketch period.
Here's a Rubinstein. Obviously, you guys know my favorite character, so this is a Joe Rubinstein sketch out of Marvel Exquisite. So you probably see, congratulations, you have received a hand-drawn, one-of-a-kind Marvel sketch card. Enjoy.
So now you have a favorite character, but do you consider yourself a character collector? Because clearly you go beyond Thanos. I mean, you've got a diverse interest there.
He's my favorite. So I am a set collector for the cards, but character collector for the art, because if you're a set collector for the art, like unless you're like Donald Trump, you're gonna go broke. it's like, and plus it's like you're not gonna share it all. Like the Joe Jusko 2016 set, that was a hidden set of the original art that was gone, that people like loved those cards. And I recently acquired the whole set from the previous owner and kept a few for myself. We'll show them later on this show, and then allowed like all of the other fans of certain characters, acquire something there. Because if you collect the whole set, then it's like kind of hoarding it in a way. Yes, and especially if you're not going to show it in galleries or anything, just put it in a box or there. So I'm a set collector for cards, character collectors for the art, or the artist collectors too. So there's some artists I just like, and I get as much as I can.
Sure. I mean, we've looked at your collection before, and I've been in your calf gallery numerous times. So I know that you get some passion with with you mentioned like Jim Starlin, as a
Mhm.
creator, you got to
Yeah,
be in one of your your top 5, top 10
for sure.
creators as well. So yeah, I mean, and has Starlin ever done any card art? I mean, because I'm a novice.
I don't think so. I mean, he might have. I'm not the card art expert like Matt Fuller or Jose. They know more about that. But I haven't seen one. He may have.
Mhm.
But that would be super cool. There's not too many. There's not too much overlap of comic artists and sketch card artists. There's more overlap of like the card artists and then the sketch card artists, and then then there's like pure sketch card artists. That's what they do is the sketch cards for it. And I think that's where there's a great opportunity for like the future. If the future generations of comic artists can come from sketch artists that are found if if it keeps happening. Like I said, Upper Deck is the one that did a lot of that stuff, and Rittenhouse, but I don't think Tops does that too much. They did a Star Wars, I think. So we'll see. They usually pick one or two. Like Frank Miller is in the Tops. He's a sketch artist for Tops Marvel set right now.
Mhm.
And those are like extremely rare, and like he's the only artist they have that did it.
Well, maybe you can help me understand a thing about sketch card collecting, because obviously, you're very focused on the artwork that makes up the cards or the sketch cards that are that you can get in a box. But there are a lot of artists that just draw on sketch cards. You see, if you go to eBay, there's 8,000 sketch card auctions going on at any given time, and those are pieces that I would assume 90+% of those are not cards that would
Yeah,
in a box break, right?
that's
They're
true.
just
That's right. They're all like true one of ones here. So I have like a little black book of like some of my favorite sketch artists here. I'll show some of them. So like Lady Lee is one of them that I think she's just a pure sketch card artist. Let me set my light up here so you can see better. Yeah, so this is I have a couple of Lady Lees in here. So it's from like Fleur to Wolverine, and this is Marvel Premiere. So you have a Ghost Rider and a Wasp, and two of the same character here. It's Enchantress, I believe. It's here, and then this is PJ. So two PJs came out of Premiere. Eric Grove is Professor X that came out of Marvel Allegiance. So these are all, as far as I'm aware, just sketch card artists, and they make these for the packs. This is Vikratos, Baron some Silver Surfer ones from the older Marvel masterpieces. Here's Ash Gonzalez, two of my favorites here, Tribunal and Cosmic Spider-Man. Another Ash there.
oh, nice.
Yep. So John
So
Paul Howard. Yeah, so he did all of these, and John's up. So these are examples of the ones that you can all of these were pulled out of packs of different sets.
yeah, I remember seeing some of the I think Justin's videos from OAX last year, and you had a couple binders of cards that he was uh, admiring.
Yeah,
The best word
yeah.
to put it. He was very happy to see a lot of that.
There'll be a lot of sketch cards for sale at CAX, and we had a lot last year, and
Mhm.
some individual came and bought every single one. Like when the doors opened, he came over and bought all the sketch cards. So if you want them, make sure you get there early and go get the ones you want, because
Was
there's
that
like
was that collector who bought all those known? I mean, and as a known sketch card collector, so it wasn't you weren't shocked that it happened.
I was kind of shocked. I didn't expect that to happen.
Okay.
Because I did Art Basel in Miami way before any of this stuff, like just randomly. Because I would always go to Art Basel on my own. That's how I kind of got pulled into this community too. Was from that Art Basel event. But I brought sketch cards to it and some original art. And some people bought the sketch cards, but it was just like, oh, Black Panther, I like that guy, and they would like buy it. But it wasn't like sketch card collectors that were like hunting certain things. So it was very different. That's why I was shocked because I went to here, which is actually focused for comic fans and illustration art, and they were just like they knew everything. They wanted like sold out. Like, okay, wow, that didn't happen at like Art Basel, which has 1 million people that go into it.
Well, at 1 million people, it's just harder to know what's there, right? I guess I've never
Yeah.
been to Art Basel, but I would assume, that's the challenge of bigger shows. I mean, some artists can go, not you can't find them. I went to MegaCon after we went to OX last year. There were a couple artists that I wanted to say hi to that I couldn't even find,
Yeah.
and I had a pop. And so it's
Yeah.
there's something to be said about having a smaller show that's focused. I mean, it works better for everybody. And to me, who's there, like whether you're a collector or you're, just a fan or you're an artist, exhibitor,
Yeah. Art
you're
Basel is
not
just
going
like
to miss
a
anybody.
citywide. Yeah, Art Basel is like in Miami, a citywide like event that lasts for like 3 or 4 days, and all over the world people fly in. But I think it's about the art, but it's more about like the partying, like every event in Miami. So that happens, and there's just so much going on. Like there's arenas, like 4 or 5 different like arena size events of art, and it's just like desensitizing in a way of like just walking through booth to booth to booth. So, and it's all just like, something catches your eye. And then the prices on them too. It's just like a banana on a wall. Great. How much? Oh, 2 million.
So I was interested in going up until you mentioned that. I mean, what time of year is that?
It just passed like earlier this month. So it's
Oh,
early.
okay. So it's beginning of December then, late
Yeah.
November. Interesting.
Yeah.
What was this? Casper mentioned that good news that the Topps 2025 X-Men 97 set will have sketch cards.
Awesome. Yeah, we're making waves. Maybe it was us like demanding it. They're like, all right, these guys on these streams, they want it, so we'll do it.
Exactly. So is that I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about how sometimes you might open 20 boxes to get one sketch card. Do they publish a census before before the release of a set so that you basically know you got a 1 in 20 chance going into it, or is that something that
Yeah.
you as
Yeah,
a collector you learn?
yeah, they have on the usually on the packs of boxes like the ratios or the odds
Mhm.
for that. So like Marvel Platinum, which was one of the most popular sets that came out the past year. I'm actually looking at it right now. I'll grab it. I got one sketch card and I didn't even pull it. I got it from a friend of mine. This is a Casey Parsons. Of course, the character again. And this was like extremely rare because I don't even want to say how many cases I opened. It must have been what normal yearly salary people have in cards, and I did not get a single sketch.
Now,
So
are
it
you
was,
recording this while it's happening? The frustration, I mean, the excitement, the agony of defeat once the box, you've opened
I
every
don't
set.
open every case on like a stream. I just do it sometimes. A lot of times I'm just by myself, and then they have EPAC, which is EPAC
Mhm.
is Upper Deck's digital platform that you open packs, and then you can redeem the card. There's not like fake cards; they're real cards, but just you're opening it on your web browser or mobile app. So it was just like buy a case, open all at once, no sketch. Buy a case, open all at once, no sketch. So yeah, it's dangerous, very dangerous.
Exactly. But I mean, is there like, well, I don't even want to think
I
about
wasn't chasing a
values.
sketch though from that set. Like that's the
No?
thing. A set collector, the sketches are nice to get, but some people that's their focus. That's not really my focus. Like I like the bit large format art a bit more, like the actual card themselves, or just the cards themselves. If I like the certain cards, and I'll just get that. That's so that Marvel Pod was about building the sets and that they have and the different what called the rainbows. Like you have one card, the different variations, the different foiling and colors, and building all of that out. So you have like the full character rainbow. So I don't know. Now, as I talk about it, I feel like it's kind of so stupid, but I love doing it.
No, no. I mean, I'm interested. I just realized that, the more I talk about it, the more I have, to learn at the end of the day. There's there's so many nuances to it, um, but no, it's cool, and it does.
Yeah, actually, I'll
Everything
show
kind
you
of
like
leads
one
back to the
example of
art
the
at the end
rainbow.
of
I'll
the
show
day.
you. Give me 1 second. I'll grab a binder and see right here in front of me, and I'll show you what I mean. So here's like the Joe Justo set, which I'm about to show the art for. The 1992, one of the first sets I ever collected. They reprinted it on a new card set for Marvel Platinum 1992. They did this like about a month ago, and it's all the original ones from the 92 set, but they redid it in different card styling. So if you look at like these here, you can see there's different. That's a bad example because it's just a different surface on it. But like, there's example, they have like, these are clear cut ones that are kind of transparent on it. And same character, same card, but just different versions of it. There's ones where like there's rainbow foiling on some of them, and then no rainbow foiling on the other. So it's just like different, different types and styles of the cards they have for it all. But it's, it's nice to, if you have a certain character, you can make, all the different versions of the card for it. And, they're actually very beautiful, printed like now. Here's like pink ones for it. I'll show you one more. There's like the red prism ones for it. Yeah, so same art, but just different formats of the card.
Very cool. So they
that one card here. So this is a good segue to show. So this set was one of the Tom Morgan Impel is the first set I ever got in 1990, and then 2 years later they came out with Joe Jusko's Marvel Masterpieces, which was in 1992, and that one I think everybody that's like a collector over the decades, they know about this set. It's very has a lot of memories with it, and I'll show. Let's see what's a good one to show here. I think I have Apocalypse on the list to show you guys. So this is the Apocalypse card. I'll pull this out and show you, and then I'll show you the art with it. So here it is. So here's the card.
I recognize that card.
Very recognizable. Very recognizable. These are everybody has them in like the closet or the basement if you're in a 90s kid. So here is the the original art for it. Pretty cool.
That's amazing. And again, you really started collecting in about 6 years ago, or a little over 6 years ago, right, Steve?
Yep, that's right.
That was a peak time. There were a lot of new collectors came into the hobby in 17 and 18, and I don't know, I don't know what the tipping point was. I mean, you mentioned that you were dealing with Comic Connect for comics, and it may be that just the number of auction houses that were making people aware of the opportunity to pick up art and everything. But
the economy, for it, because it's not just like art.
That's true too.
Like all collectibles, and the value of things just went up because with COVID was a very interesting time where you either people either got extremely successful in what they were doing, especially like remote work. Like my company got very large and very successful during that time frame, but then other people had lost their jobs and because of the different issues. And so I think that time frame, a lot of people were getting sentimental about collecting, and maybe stuck at home if you are on a lockdown, and like remembering the good old days and looking at your cards and like wanted something to do to pass the time. And people got back into the collecting sports cards, and the values just went up crazy on everything too. And you had zero interest rates policies from Federal Reserve, so lots of extra money liquidity and helicopter money, and paycheck protection programs. There's just like a lot of excess cash for people to spend.
There was. I think I had those were the best years in collecting for me as well. I mean, or as far as volume, it was just, there was so much that was coming out. And yeah, you're right. Well, when you didn't have to travel to shows anymore, so you were saving a couple $1,000s for every trip that you'd make, that you could spend on artwork. You did have a lot more money in your pocket as long as you didn't lose your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Antoine had a question about the piece of art you were just showing, because I couldn't quite tell either. What was the size of the original artwork from that piece?
Okay, so yeah, this is if you want to look at it for scale with the card. The card is 2.5 by 3 inches. So this is actually quite small, for art. This is about like 6 inches by
maybe
4
6 by 8, something like that. 6 by 9.
6 by 8, yeah, 6 by 8. I think it's right. And all of the ones that he did for the set, I'll show another one that I have from it. So Strong Guy. Let me put this one down here. This is another recognizable one from the set. Strong Guy.
Oh man, that red makes the art pop so well.
Yeah.
You have a very good framer, Steve.
Yes, thank you. He's great in museum glass. You gotta get museum glass on everything too. If you don't, it reflects all over. I mean, it's great to appreciate all of it, with the clear glass. Yeah, so these are the same size, and that's from the masterpiece set. You just did all of them same.
Wow. And I noticed that when you sent some of the images for the art that we're going to talk about, and I was looking at the Simone piece that you got at the auction last year. That was the main show poster, and I noticed there that you had used your framer was using the I think it was a silver lining around the artwork, and I saw there that's gold. I mean, that's such a nice touch. Yeah,
Skip ahead to it.
I mean,
Poster.
that's it's a unique way of framing, but boy, does it, I mean, it makes the art look, more, I don't know, I don't want to say pristine, or the presentation is just so fine. I can't tell you how much I respect the fact that that's the choice that you and the framer made in displaying the artwork. It really makes it more powerful.
I really like him because he like takes your ideas, and he's very creative with the way you want it to represent it. Because I used to do, you can kind of see behind me these Bianchis. I would make the frame with like the card inside of it. So I have some of them like that, which was awesome to show. Actually, Art Basel, I had a lot of these up on display, and the people that there's going gallivanting around, and they see it, and they're like, "Oh, are you the artist?" Here, I was like, "No, it's there." It's like, "Oh," it's like, "No, this is like the card and the art." The art's like, I'm trying to explain. I was like, "Oh, so he drew the card?" I'm like, "No, that is the art." Never mind. So yeah, then it just like takes up a lot of space. So then like above these ones here from the set, I just removed the card out of it and just made just the art with the frames and the matting. So I like to be creative with it on show. The poster, for that, from the OX last year was great. I think having the poster and the art just it tells the story on its own. Like this was an original for the events, and here's the the poster for the event. So you don't need to like explain it. Just kind of like look at it. You know what the art is from.
Exactly. No, I was really happy that you got that piece too. I mean, that was the first show was fun, right? There's a lot of I have a few takeaways too, right? I got that all red Silver Surfer painting that was auctioned off, and that was used on the badges. I mean, I think any of us that were there were really who got pieces that represented the show were really lucky, and I'm really happy that you got that piece.
Oh yeah, me too. It's amazing, and it kind of matches too because I have so much of his art. So it was great that it was like he's such a great guy too. He's a musician as well. So he plays
Right,
drums.
I've seen him drum numerous times on social media. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great. And I love Weapon X. Like that's another one of my favorite comic characters too. It just made sense. Like first OX, one of my favorite artists. It's amazing painting, favorite character. Like bid.
Yeah, that was we did an interview with him probably to like announce him coming to the show in say June or July of that year. And I don't know who asked him. I don't think it was me who asked him what his favorite character to paint was, and he said Weapon X. And so that's when we were like, that's the character we're going to ask him to do for the the show poster because he'll do a good job.
Yeah,
he did.
And he did. He sure did. There might be a card of that art for this year coming up too.
Very good. Cool. So yeah, I saw what was it? Dante, he really liked the strong guy. He said that the strong guy is wonderful.
It's a strong painting. It's a really strong painting.
Yeah, that is awesome. And again, probably about roughly the same size as the other piece, right? About 6x8, 6x9, something like that.
Same size, that's right. And then and then the cards the cards original one of the 1992 classic ones, but they just redid it. So here's one of the newer ones that came out. Strong guy. Now this card is actually one of the parallels. It's a metal card. I don't know if you can see it says metallurgy above strong. Yeah. So this is a metal card. One of the subsets in it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now I know you've talked to Joe a few times, or at least I feel like you have. Or am I just thinking that maybe seeing Matt or
No, I talked to Joe many times. Yeah. He
Does he realize the significance of that 92 set? I mean, I can't say I've seen an interview with him where he's talked about that, but I wonder how he looks back on his time working on that.
Yeah, he knows how the significance of that one, because I mean Joe does many types of art. He Vampirilla and Conan. And then he did the Marvel trading card set. So a lot of that stuff, it's different. It's a different audience. I guess you could say for that. But the Marvel one, because he did two sets, like full card sets. The 92 one, and then during there was like a lull in like the 2000s and 2010s, and then finally 2016 they brought back the Marvel Masterpieces set, and it was Joe's they called on him to do that set again, with whole new art. So he was kind of like the pioneer on both generations of the Marvel Masterpieces.
Yeah, no, I've never got to talk to him about his time in card art. I've talked to him about his ERB, Edgar Rice Burroughs, Tarzan work, and a few other things, but I've never gotten to talk to him about the card art stuff. I'll have to go dig through some YouTube interviews with him just to kind of see that. I was hoping we'd get him out to the show this year, but maybe in a future show.
Some art will be there, definitely, for sure. Like the the new art. We haven't met him in person, but at my home, we did a 2-hour stream with him, and Dan DeSantos is there too, talking about every single piece of the 2016 Marvel card set. After I acquired it, and we had the reveal. Joe was kind enough to be there and talk about the story on each of the pieces, and over 100 pieces. So yeah, it was awesome to hear about all of that. And a lot of those will be, there's some people that purchased some of the paintings. They'll be picking them up at the event, so they'll be there. There'll be a few still for sale, and then a few of the ones there to view and for your pleasure, from other collectors' sets that they have.
In the because there is a gallery just for CAX artwork. If people weren't aware, we haven't really announced everything yet, but there is a CAX gallery that is fairly large room too. Not just the art that's going to be on display in the exhibitor booths and the artist booths as well, but we have a whole room dedicated to the CAX artwork.
Since we're talking about those, I can grab those two here.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yep, this is the Joe Jusko 2016 set. I had the two Venoms from there to pulled out to show.
Oh wow. I watched that stream live. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but it was so amazing getting to see all the artwork laid out like that. You just realize the body of work and the amount, because Joe probably never had it laid out in such a way that he could see it in that way, right? When he worked on it before he sold it. It was so impressive.
Yeah, these were framed, even post that event. So these are two from my set, and I have my framer, amazing framer, do it on there. Kind of, that, get to be creative with that. Like find the right matting on it. I kind of did a gold matting on there to match the that kind of venom coming off of his tongue. Very the gold saliva, so it matches here. This is like the canvas gallery set from it, and the cards. So this the cards are. Especially this one here, they consider it the tier 4, which is one of the higher numbered cards that are rare. There's only 100 of those cards exist at all. They're all serialized, and then there's different like rarities of each one. Like there's a red version, which is like the red Spectrum 1 of 1. I have no idea who has it or where it is, but those cards are over, some of them over like $10,000, just for that card. Which
does the scarcity of the card impact the value of the original art?
I think subconsciously it does in a way, because I hear it myself and other people. It's like, oh, that's like a tier 4 card art. It's like, it's like they're all the art is 1 of 1. Like there is like, but the card is, maybe it's just a subliminal instinct of like that's the rare cards and that's the art for their so. It makes sense too, but they tend to have the better characters on like the higher tier anyways. So like the Spider-Man card number 90, which is like the last card.
Self-fulfilling prophecy that the rarer the card, the more valuable the art, just because, right? They're gonna have they might have a better artist, or an artist that's more popular, or is maybe more related to the character, and it's a character everybody wants.
Yeah, the biggest thing for cards is, you know, the character and like the rarity of it too. So I mean, you can have like one of one of a character that's like not that popular. It's still a very high value card, and you can have, you know, not so rare but of a Spider-Man, and that card has a lot of value to it. You know, so characters definitely matter a lot for the cards, and as is the scarcity of the card variant or whatever it is. Yeah, so that's your cards and art, man. It's so cool to go through it all. I mean, gonna go back, so you know, going through the history of that. You know, I showed Marvel Masterpieces ones from '92 and the '90 Impel, and you know, starting in '92, Masterpieces kind of kept going 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, and then stopped. So they had an artist for each one. So '93, after Joe's '92, '93 came out, and they had several artists there. It wasn't one artist. And I have a '93 Masterpieces here. It actually was the pack art, and it's from a very famous artist. This is one of my
Who I
favorites.
think is going to OAX, right?
Yeah, Julie Bell.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so this is and she apparently Colombo said that this is Julie's first Marvel art that she had done as well, first piece. Yep, so this is the Iron Man. This is a '93 Masterpieces. This is actually the one used on the packs when you open them. Doesn't even look like a painting. It was so real. It's so amazing how good she is on this. Her and Boris. So that was '93. And they actually they did their own set, the '96 one, which we'll get to. So this is Julie Bell from '93 Masterpieces. And besides Masterpieces, the other big set you know, around that early '90s was the Universe, so Marvel Universe in 91 to 95. So this is 1992 Marvel Universe, and this one, I got comments on the framing for this one because it's super creative framing.
That's great.
Yes. So let me see the glare there. So this is Wolverine and Sabretooth. It was actually recently up on Heritage. You know, I got there. So this is just like the Tom Morgan one. It has the ink and then the card representation for it of Sabretooth and then the Wolverine from that. So the cards, and then the way they did it is kind of like comic book style. They did the inking, and then they did the colors kind of with a clear acrylic you cover with the coloring underneath it. Yes, and it has the claw framing. Super cool.
That is awesome. Now, is that hanging in the same room here where you have so much other pieces on the wall, or is that something that, you know, needs to be out in the open and you get to see every day?
It's in my bathroom.
Well, then you do see it every day. All right.
No, it's my bathroom's not a bathroom. My bathroom's just like an extra closet. It's in my art room here. I have this piece, and I have Garbage Pail Kids uncut sheet from like the old '85, which is very fitting for Garbage Pail Kids to be in the bathroom anyways.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I have an uncut sheet of Wacky Packs on the wall.
That's cool. I like uncut sheets. I you know, over there, I'm not going to go through that. I'll be here all night long, but I have like the old Spencer's posters of uncut sheets of Magic and Marvel and everything too. That stuff's really neat. Like, the Wacky Packs. That's, you got to show me that sometime. That one's awesome.
I could take a photo. I'll send it to you after the show. Yeah, there. One year I was at like a Wizard World Chicago, and somebody had a stack of them. And the thing, they were actually a double set. So and I was dumb. I mean, because I didn't know. I mean, it was like 1997. I had a friend who liked them too, so I cut it in half and gave him the other half. You know, who knows what the hell he did with it? But I wish I would have kept it as it was, because I bet there aren't. You know, there's probably none of those out there anymore.
Yeah, there's like that stuff from like '80s, and you know, the cards, they were stickers too, like the Garbage Pail Kids with stickers, and you know, when you open them, like the older ones, there's a piece of gum inside of the packs with it. And like nowadays, the gum is so like petrified, and like the card is like the acid ate through the top card. So that one's like completely done. And then the wax on the card on the other side of it is like stuck to it. That's ruined. So like they didn't care back then. There's like you take your stick, put it on your lunchbox or something like that. Yeah, it's whatever.
Oh yeah. My lunch boxes were filled with those and those I don't know I don't even remember what they were called. Those those wacky race car driver monsters, that were sitting, the
Yeah.
giant monster sitting in a Ford Mustang or a Roadrunner, Plymouth Roadrunner or something like that with a gear shift sticking out of the hood. I had that's my Space 1999 lunchbox was covered with those stickers.
So did you like Garbage Pail Kids? Were you into them too at all? Or?
A little bit. That was like right, on the cusp of, I remember I didn't buy a lot of it. I mean, but of course it was in front of me all the time. But yeah, I think I missed that wave just by a little bit.
Yeah, I liked it because I have a younger sister. She's a little bit younger than me, and she liked Cabbage Patch Kids. So
Sure.
and everything she did, I had to do like not opposite of it. So I'm like Garbage Pail Kids, and then like teachers hated it, in elementary school because they are disgusting. I mean, so they would make you throw them away, and parents hated them all. So I think maybe that adds to the rarity of it because like teachers would just throw them away and destroy them. So I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah, CJ said Ed Roth. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, CJ. Those were cool. I'd love to get a piece of original art from one of those 70s stickers. I forget what Hakes had some auction about like 3 years ago where they had a couple card art pieces from that era. Maybe not exactly that, but like crazy looking monsters on motorcycles and things. I was like, oh,
yeah, yeah.
even though I don't remember it, I want one, and I got outbid, and I regret that because it didn't even go for a lot of money. Might have been only went for like $750, but I was like, it's not going to go over $700. Nobody would want that, and
Right.
and I got outbid. But I would love to own something like that because that is a piece of my childhood right there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't have any Garbage Pail Kids art. That would be pretty cool though. The cards are still extremely popular. There's more Garbage Pail Kid cards now than there are Marvel cards. Topps is doing them, and they're re-releasing like Sapphire edition of like the original, what they call it, OS1, OS2.
Mhm.
So, they same thing as like what we just saw for the 92 masterpieces. They changed the foiling on it, make them shiny, and put serial numbers on them, but it's the same art from like the 80s.
I know when I go through like once a month, I'll stumble into like eBay's section of the sketch card art, and there is a lot of Garbage Pail Kids in those sets because they have like funky shaped cut cards and things too
Yeah.
that the people draw on. I don't know. I don't know if those are like meant to be a part of the set or if people are making them aftermarket, but there's a lot out there.
Another thing like I collect is skateboard decks, and like they have Garbage Pail Kid skateboard decks that are pretty cool, and they're all like rare releases and stuff. So like the Atom Bomb skateboard, and I have a couple of those over there. So I don't know, there's like I'm weird. I'm a weird collector. Like I like certain things, and then I get a lot of like that. So like skateboards are one. Obviously Marvel art, Magic the Gathering cards. Old ones. Louis Vuitton duffel bags. I don't know, like I like those, just like random things. I just like end up.
You collect a lot of things. You need a
Yeah,
big house for all this stuff, Steve.
I know. So that's why I keep my room in here, and my recording studio. Just they're all I never did toys. Toys. I feel the things I collect are smaller or like can be stacked. Toys just they take up a lot of space for things. So cards are great, art's great. Comics are good for that, and books too. I like books. Books stack pretty nice as well. But collecting toys can be pretty big, and video games. I never got into video game collecting either. That was a big thing a few years ago.
It was. It still is, but not as big as it was during the pandemic.
Yeah, everything.
Um,
NFTs never collected in the pandemic.
well, don't get into that.
Okay. All right, so yeah, we'll continue with Marvel card art.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm looking at the thumbnails that we have coming up here.
yeah,
we're still.
so going through the journey, I showed the 92
Mhm.
universe card. So then 93 universe came out, so the year after that, and they did the art a certain way. This is probably the most creative framing that was the Wolverine Sabretooth one. Amazing. That was my idea. It came that way. This is one that was my idea. I worked the framer on to do it and show. And it looks kind of glary because there's 2 layers on it. So this is like the 9 card page from 93, and there's a magnet on here.
Oh, wow.
So this is actually 9 cards from the set, and they had like the pages were 9 cards, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So this is the Carnage, Hobgoblin, Venom, Prowler, Spider-Man, Green Goblin, Daredevil, Shriek, and Rhino. Those 9 cards. And this is all like airbrushed. So airbrushed by Paul Mouse. And the clear ink is Ron Lim. So kind of work together. If I show just the clear part on it. Pretty cool. So got it that to be a unique frame. I'll just see both of them.
It's got a magnet to keep it closed too, right?
Yep.
Slick.
Cool. Yeah. There was an X-Men, because they had the X-Men 9 card as well. That I saw that and I missed it. It was on Heritage. I would love to have like the Spider-Man 9 and then the X-Men 9 from that set, but it'll come back up there. That was 90. That was 93. And then the next year I think was probably the biggest year in Marvel cards from like the 90s. It was 1994, 95 were like, that was like Chromium came out and even the comics were like going crazy. I worked at a comic book store in 7th grade, my first job ever. Like Pogs, comics, comic cards, they're like humongous. And like, I mean, the comics from that era like are not very valuable, like a lot of Image comics and stuff too for it. And but very, very timeless for me. But the cards from that set, so 94 Marvel Masterpieces, and that's when they had Hildebrandt come in, and Greg and Tim Hildebrandt, and their set is probably the most, I probably think the most recognizable, along with Justice 92. So this is a 94 Masterpiece Hildebrandt Wolverine. I had this last year actually at OX.
Yep, I remember that one. Wow.
Yes,
The
TMG.
Hildebrandt's style is just so unmistakable. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Damn.
I think that, just social proof when I had some of these at Art Basel, I had a lot of representations from different, artists and different card sets. This is the card set that everybody like recognized from, oh, I had that card. So that's how I know, like, yeah, that was the iconic, kind of like the peak of the 90s Marvel cards at that point. And then I think the following set, 95 Masterpieces, they went back to several artists. And last year we actually had all the artists, or 4 of them all together on an interview, not in person. And we had like Dimitri Pateas, Scanlan. They were all there talking about it, and they drew each version of their characters that they from the set. But those cards were a lot rare. Like you can go to Walmart or Target and like buy those packs. It was kind of like how it is now. They're like, it's like harder to get. I don't know. You have to go to card shows and do it. So they're a bit more rare and not as popular and recognizable. But this is like one of the ones I have from it. Thanos from Scanlan. So this was a 95 Masterpieces. I got this from when I first met Jose. He's like, "Hey, you're a Thanos collector. I have something that you might like." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I like that."
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yes, love this one. I had Silver Surfer was the other one I got in the set. I had that last year. You can see like the colors on it, man, are amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. It's totally beautiful. It's incredible the amount of detail that gets put into these paintings for something that's going to get printed on a 2.5 by inch card.
Yeah.
But it's back to the wonderful thing is that there's the companies are putting a lot of the emphasis on having great artworks created for the card sets, right? When you see something like that, you don't hire the Hildebrands to make a schlock set of cards, or Jusco, Bianchi, Palumbo, Dos Santos, all those guys. I mean, you don't do that. I mean, and that's kind of one of the great things about the trading card sets for me is that this artwork wouldn't exist if we didn't have trading cards.
That's right. Yeah, and that's how they call them masterpieces. Like that. That's my favorite Marvel set. These are like masterpieces, and it's appreciating the art, of that artist. Which is like I don't collect sports cards. I actually don't even like sports at all. Anyways, but like the sports cards, the values on those things are too. But it's like you're collecting players, which you can like the players and stuff, but like they snapped a picture. Okay, great.
Right.
Snapped a picture, put some foils on. Like, good job. I don't know. Just I don't want to talk crap about sports cards, but it's different with cards like this. It's
Exactly.
art. There's art behind it, and like Magic cards too. Magic cards, you have the art, and then another layer on top of it. It's actually a game, like the best game ever. Playing is so fun, and it's been around for over 30 years, and it's still stronger than it ever has been. So there's a real value to the cards as far as like playability and the art and the scarcity, which is why I like Magic art a lot. And then Marvel cards, the scarcity and the art appreciation for that, and the characters. And so sports, I don't know what you have. You have the athlete,
Right, and some stats on the back, and like you said, Cub reporter's photograph that they printed on there. I get it. No, I mean I did collect baseball cards when I was younger, but yeah, they didn't hold my attention for too long.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I would go there. It started baseball cards, and like with my dad, the cards, and like, let's get like the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, and we're like, yeah, but that's Spider-Man. It's so pretty. Look at this. Just immediately got into that and like forgot the sports cards, which is actually a good idea because like I don't know, I have a lot of those baseball cards still, and I see them, and I'm like, let me see if these are worth anything too, and like look through it all, and like. I feel like I'm a smart guy. I'm confused by like what is valuable because like I look at it, it's like Ken Griffey Jr. error card. This scab is on him on this one here, and I look and there's a dot like, and it was worth like $50,000, and then like the other one is like worth 5 cents, and like which one is it? They look the same. I don't know.
Oh man, well you mentioned Spider-Man. I think do we have a Spider-Man artwork that we're going to be looking at?
Yeah. So that's actually on the wall. Turn up here, and I'll take a little closer to it because I didn't take it off the wall. But the Hildebrand Spider-Man from the set, along with the Wolverine. So this is right there, and I have Black Panther as a bonus for it too.
Damn.
Yeah. You can see the lighting. I have it right now. You can see like the grains of the paint that on there for the acrylics.
Yeah, that's a pretty special painting right there, and another Thanos.
Yeah, trying to get all the Thanos from each masterpieces. I'm just missing one. Do
you know where it is though?
Yeah, I know who has it. Will. Yeah, Palumbo's. Yeah, he has a. It's okay. He's in good hands. He's a good collector. Yeah, so that's the '94 stuff that love that set, and there'll be some. I'll bring some of those to to OAX as well, and it's unfortunate that the news with the Greg passing away recently too. Such a legendary fantasy artist. I mean, one of the best ever. Not just Marvel, but Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and like Disney. The stuff they did is just iconic.
Right, an incredibly nice guy too. I mean, he was one of the more cheerful people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I don't think anybody would ever say a bad word about the man. I mean, yeah, everybody was pulling for him. We would have loved to have been able to get him out to the show. That would have been wonderful to see him. But yeah, very, very sad. But I mean, but again, you think about it, he did a lot of advertising, marketing. Remember the Trans-Siberian Orchestra every Christmas? There, he did the art for that. I mean, what a wonderful life at the end of the day. I mean, he
probably the coolest Star Wars art ever. Like the classic, the very first trilogy, of like Luke with the lightsaber in the air and like Darth Vader behind him. Like that's just everybody knows that. The whole world knows that picture. So his legacy will live on forever. That's for sure. The brothers. And memory is definitely never going away for the impact they left on just the art in general.
Without question. James Henderson asks, isn't that Thanos currently at auction? I don't know.
Which one?
I don't know. Maybe the one that isn't in your collection.
No. Okay. So that's you probably see on Comic Link. Comic Link does not take down any of the paintings for some reason that you buy. So they stay on pending forever. Like there's ones that 5 years are still pending. So no, I bought that off of Comic Link, so it's not on auction.
All right. But no, I think that I love that Spider-Man piece. Such a very memorable image, and yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
That's so wonderful that you have it in your collection. I mean, again, the span of 6 short years, you've amassed. I mean, we just look at a few pieces here, but it's just amazing the pieces that you've gotten. It,
yeah, yep,
very enviable.
yeah. Thank you. I mean, it's also, I think, an investment as well. Like know a lot about finances, running a company, and I don't like to hold cash in the bank. Inflation just if you just it's opposite of my parents. Like my parents are savers. Like they just keep money in the bank, and to them it's like what you could buy now and what you buy in the future are going to be very different. But art and collectibles, I think, is a great investment. It's also a psychological investment because I would love to have my assets on the wall to appreciate and talk about and share and bring, rather than like logging into Wells Fargo and seeing a number there. Like, who cares?
Right. Seeing that, yeah, you got your 2.5% or 5%
Yeah,
interest.
interest like barely keeps up with like inflations or like treasury yields and stuff. It's like, so I like, to me it's also like store value, for it, that regardless of it, like inflation or deflation, if even if all this stuff goes down to like worth zero, I still can look at it and like I like it. It's it's that's a psychological, intangible value that you can't replace. So that's the right reason why I'm not afraid to like spend and buy and hold on to it too. I think it's pretty liquid as well. So there's a lot of collectors that somebody asks, I thought that was on sale. It's like, okay, yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, there's always buy there for for it. It's hard to pin a value to the things too. It's like art is in general is just banana can go for $1 million, and the Simon Bianchi Thanos can go for $100. Who knows?
Mm. James Siegel said he's going to be playing this segment later on Rewind for his wife, so she understands the nature of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Trust me. I mean,
yeah.
in that room,
The way I look at it, Jay, is like you can either use your time to invest and make money, or you can use your money and have time work for you. So that's the way I look at it. Is I'd rather just save time and enjoy it rather than like use my time to make money. So it's like, what do you value more, time or money? So it's like using it wisely for that, and over time, the stuff is increases value, and over time, cash goes down.
that is true. Antoine wanted to know if do you insure your collectibles?
Yep, I have insurance on it.
Yep,
Yeah,
extra.
it's
Yeah,
funny
that's
because insurance. The insurance company I was using, the big one, not art. It's the Black Lotus Alpha, which is worth a lot. It's
mhm.
probably more than my house. It's crazy, but the Black Lotus, they're trying to get a price on that for insurance, and they're like, oh, well, we need to consult like Heritage, for the value on this. Like the card that I'm showing you was on Heritage, so it's like comparing it to the card that I'm trying to insure. That's how rare it is. It's like, well, so it's kind of funny, but yeah, it's insured. I'm not scared of theft or anything like that. My house is really secured, and I live in Florida, so I have guns and stuff. So try. That's good.
Just trying
But
to get your art, right?
I'm more. Fire is probably the thing I'm scared of the most because paper.
Exactly. No, that's well, that's why some people don't hang the originals on their walls, right? They hang a nice high quality
Yeah,
print and
yeah,
have the art someplace else or in a fireproof box.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I,
Fireproof. I have a pretty nice house. I think that fire. I have like a dehumidifier over there, also like running all the time.
Gotta have that
And
here in Florida.
yeah, in Florida humidity. So that's there, keeping there nice and good. There's not like a lot of electronics or anything in here too. Not it's a concrete house, not wood, so the risk is low. I'd say.
I get it. I was actually at an art dealer's house last weekend, and they had bought a fire safe. Unlike one that I've ever seen before. I didn't snap a picture of it. I got it on video, but it was literally 5 feet deep. It must have been 7 feet tall at minimum, and about 5 feet wide.
Yeah,
And and they assembled it in the space, and uh, I'm gonna have to get information on it. I've never seen anything like it, that must be like the biggest one they make,
Yeah.
because it was sitting next to a doorway and it was like a foot and a half taller than the doorway. I'm like, why
Jeez.
did you do that? I mean, because you have to have a step ladder to get into it, to get to the top shelf in it.
Yeah,
But
I've heard some horror stories too, like of moisture. There's a collector in Magic. He had like Alpha Set there, and it was in like a vault, and the
mhm.
vault ended up having like a leak in it, and everything got like moldy and water intrusion into it. And that was like after like fire protection. It was like, what? Didn't have leak protection in it. So crazy.
Uh,
I just like if it's here in front of me, I'm in my house every day. I look at it, I know everything's okay. I don't really trust banks, so I don't want to put it in a vault, and I want to appreciate it, not to have it locked away and forget about it. So I like to look at the stuff, So I think it's fine. I like it in my house. I wouldn't want to lock something there in the vault away
I
from
don't
me.
blame you either. It's, if anything, you know where it is, and if there was ever an issue, I'm sure you've got select pieces you'd be going after first if there was ever a problem. And
Yeah. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. When you take it out of here, actually, I have had art stolen, but not from my house. It was at Art Basel, the last one. I had 3 Bianchi pieces stolen from the last day. Inside job on it. It's crazy. Sad story. Don't want to get into it, but I had an Iron Man, Captain America, and a Hulk that were stolen right off the wall overnight at Art
not
Basel.
not returned.
Don't know where they are, but if they ever pop up, like everybody's gonna
Well,
know. It's right away.
I hope I wasn't aware of that, but I'd be happy to get the news out there about the pieces if it was something you wanted
Oh yeah, I
public.
would love that. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, I
But
don't remember that at all. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'd love to. We've always talked about one of the things CAF probably needs is a stolen slash lost art, repository, so
well,
that
I'm
people.
also a cybersecurity person, so I wrote some Python scripts and I had it like running, scraping Craigslist, pawn shops in the
So you're
area.
looking everywhere all the time.
Yeah, Simone knows about it. Like everybody here knows about that art. I had Miami, Lifestyle Miami, was like Instagram page with like 3 million people in South Florida. Like they had an ad out about it. Like so, it's never found, but the moment it pops up, we'll know.
Wow. Well, I'd
But
love to know which pieces those were too.
I'll send them to you later. Yeah, it was like Iron Man Gallery and this Captain America one. It's pretty sad.
Damn.
I had a lawsuit against them, and actually I won. So that's good. They had no cameras there on. So moral of the story is like I brought it out somewhere. They were supposed to have security cameras, all that stuff, and still got stolen. It's like, see, I just keep it here where I know the cameras work and I know where it is.
Exactly. Well, that's awful. I can
Yeah.
tell everybody we have a lot of security at OAX. That was like priority number one going into it. When we had okay security in year one, but we're going to have more security even in year two. Round the clock, they have security cameras all in the where the main galleries are and the CX
Yeah,
gallery.
Casper knows from last year. I was talking about it a lot with him when we first, setting it all up. I even had my own mobile hotspot and like Google Nest Cam in the corner just in case off the grid.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. No, that's definitely the way to go. I was thinking about that as well because I I didn't think to ask them about cameras before the show, but while I was walking around the show, I'm thinking, but we really should have set up cameras in every corner just for the hell, just to have them there in case of something going wrong at night. But they have those, at least in the main hall, they have those big doors that go down. But that doesn't mean somebody can't smash a window or a door or something. And
Yeah, it's a bit like the silver lining on it at that event. There, 3 pieces got stolen of the Marvel trading card art in an event space in Wynwood, Miami. It was a Redwood, Miami. Probably 40,000 pieces of art and 800 exhibitors. The only pieces that were stolen from the entire event was the Marvel trading card. So it tells you like what's the only thing worth it to somebody. It's like, oh well.
right, there's $1 million banana, taped to a wall, and somebody
Yeah.
would rather have the Bianchi artwork. Yeah, you're
And
right.
a
That does
million
say
Andy
something.
Warhol ripoffs, it's like what? The Marilyn Monroe like painting with like glitter on it. It's like, all right, nobody wants that. They want the Iron Man.
Oh, wow, that's yeah. Give me those images, and I don't know. We really do need to do something like that on CAF because it's something that uh, w- we all understand the loss, right? Because we all hold our artwork very near and dear and valuable to, and next to our hearts. And the idea that someone else has lost art, I mean, there would be people that would look at a stolen art gallery just to be always aware and always reminded, and so that they could be diligent all the time. I think that,
You know what's
we
insane though? Like this is actually very. I was suspicious at first, but then it just happened to be some weird coincidence. But the three pieces that were stolen, a year later, they ended up going on Steve Aoki's Avengers like merch drop from Dimax. So Steve Aoki,
yeah.
actually, we're friends now. We talk about like trading cards all the time, Magic, and he actually got some Marvel card art himself from Dan Dos Santos and the Justco set. So spoken, but he had a merch drop come out, and there's shirts and hoodies and skateboards, and the art that was stolen was used on those merch. And I was like, what? That's so crazy. Like, out of all of the images,
Right. How could they pick just those?
yeah, I was like, oh my God. So, but like, yeah, it's not like he stole it. Like, you don't need to steal art to scan it and put it on the merch. Like, it's
No,
there.
of course not.
He doesn't need to steal art. Like, this guy's, he has more art than I have from it, this place.
From what
So
I've heard, yes, that's very true. Oh man, well. Speaking of art, I know you selected a few
I
more
got more
for
here.
us to
So
look at. Let's keep
so
looking.
I'll move through. So I was show a lot of Thanos. I'm going to switch up one of them. So the final year of the Marvel masterpieces from the first generation was 1996, and it was Julie Bell and Boris. They're very 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 famous fantasy artists. They did a set together for 96, and this is probably the most limited of the older ones. Like they're hard to find. Like even the boxes there. Like after 94, the print run seemed to like go down until it stopped. 96 was the last one. So I'll show this one here. I was going to show the Thanos, but I'll show Weapon X instead, since the other Weapon X. So this is Boris.
Oh yeah, so clean, man. He's amazing.
Yeah. So Boris 96. So, it's awesome. So there's two pieces there, that one and the Thanos from there, and I think this is probably the most. This is the highest cost I spent on Marvel trading card art. Was this piece.
Well, Wolverine is a very popular character.
And it's a Boris. I mean, Boris is just.
And it's Boris. Right.
Boris is Boris. Yeah, like Hildebrandt. He's so. It's like a. I'd say up there with Frazetta. And Frazetta pieces. I mean, like I can't even afford that. They're just insane.
TJ wants to see the Thanos too.
All right, why not?
Most of these purchases, though, are they at auction for you? I mean, is that where you get
these also were from Comic Link, so they're probably pending sale still.
Damn. I mean, the red on that is, that's you can look back to the matte on the Strong Guy artwork where the red was so hot on that thing. But look, this is just. It's just hard to imagine that Boris pulls it off like that. That's amazing.
So Boris but Boris and Julie, they're very good with like muscles, textures, and when you think of their stuff they did, like Tarzan, Conan, they're very. You see, they look just so strong, and Thanos looks great like that. So is Weapon X, and admittedly, I think like some of the cards look a little silly to me as Marvel cards. Not that it's bad art, but like when you look at some characters that like aren't so muscular and they draw like their style onto there. It's very unique for sure. But these two, Thanos and the Weapon X ones, just it fits so well, like their style. It looks amazing. It's like, I think that's one of the best Thanos like card arts ever made. So
one of the best images of Thanos for sure. I mean, and I love Starlin's version, but yeah, I mean there's just so much.
Oh yeah, Starlin is great for comic stuff. Yeah, I have the comic pages from Ron Lam and the Starlin covers of the Thanos quest. It's not on the list to go through, but that's for Marvel art. That's my I guess you could say my grail. It's right outside the door there. Should I show that? It's not on the list, but I'll show it. Why not?
Why not? Right? Let's see it.
Why not? It's not card art. So
TJ's going to appreciate it.
Yeah, my story real quick on this. Obviously I like comics when I was a kid. My favorite comics ever was Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos Quest 1 and 2, which story of him collecting all the gems. So when I saw like the cover art available, I flipped out. So let me turn on the light here so you can actually see it. 1 second. All right. So this is the covers of Thanos Quest 1 and 2 right there. Those are my favorite top art in Marvel I have.
Those are incredible. Wow.
Yeah, so the wraparound covers of the books right there. And it's those are actually Jim Starlin painted.
Yeah.
He's usually a writer and doesn't. I think it's his only paintings that he's ever done for comics with those 2 covers, which is why it's very unique looking. Yeah, so love those are awesome for me.
Well, thank you for showing us those. And we had Goose said we do a calf cribs thing here where people will walk around their man cave or wherever they have their art hanging. They shoot a little video and talk about the art. So we got an impromptu short version of Steve's crib.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have a barrier of the art, like the no pass zone for the wife to keep the house not turning into like a Marvel art museum. She likes it, but she wants it to be like a house, not a house, which is fine. I have pretty significant amount of space for it, but definitely, there's some stuff I need to sell just to make some more room for it because it's literally going to be on the ceilings pretty soon. No joke.
Yeah, I should show you the one of the early calf cribs videos we did was with Dino Mauricio, and he kind of remodeled a walk-in closet, and put like a recliner in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
But he actually has art on the ceiling
Oh
in that
wow.
video.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing it for sure. Like I told you I collect skateboards, and I have up there.
Right? Why not? Oh shoot!
On the ceiling up there. So yeah, those are just starting to make their way up there, hanging. Ninja Turtles and stuff, and all this random stuff. Yeah, so that was the end of the masterpieces in the 90s, and then there's like a big gap in Marvel trading cards in like late 90s and 2000s, and then came back out in 2007, 2008, and I don't have any art from that time frame. Unfortunately, I don't know if they were original arts or just comic book art or not. But then 2016 came, 2015, 2016, and the original art in the card sets started to reappear. And Just Goes came out, which I showed the Venoms for. That was like kind of the big one of Masterpiece come back. And then 2018 was Bianchi. So you see a bunch of them behind me here. I have one more piece I could show, but you guys have been looking at that for the past like 2 hours.
But not knowing, it's a little. I wouldn't say it's a little dark, but
yeah, it's like a falcon.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so that's a good one. It's haven't shown before. So it's Falcon there, and then the Iron Man is over here hanging by my door. This is the set that got the other Iron Man is one that got stolen, but this is the one that, thank God, this one is this one. This is like the box art for it, and I have the prelim. And that one's got a little crooked there, but yeah, that's the box art Iron Man from that set. And a special bonus along with that, we're talking about the cards. They started introducing in that 2016 like the rarity, which they didn't do before. And this is from that card. This is the Iron Man, the 1 of 1 red spectrum version of that card. So the only you see there 1 of 1. This is the Iron Man card. So they had the base set, which is like numbered to 99, and then an orange and a purple. The autograph version of 10, and then this is the red foiled version, which
no, you didn't. Did you pull that?
No, did not pull this one. I have pulled some from Dan's, but not this one. This one This one I found from somebody a couple years ago, along with like the full rainbow of the cards too. So got each one.
I assume that's not as that card is not as valuable as the one that Spidey one that Justin had the other day. The one that
Which one? What did he have?
was it gold foil Spider-Man? I have no idea what it's worth, but I think
Oh,
it's worth a lot, right? I assume
yeah,
that's
yeah. This one, it's hard to value cards because it all depends on the timing, and there's the collector, how many other people have the original art to match it. So I would obviously probably pay more
right.
than somebody else, because
Hmm.
it's a match. The character Spider-Man's like popular character, so those are always usually worth more. So is Iron Man, but there's like collectors of every character. So if you connect with like the collector of that character, then it's it can be worth more. But so it's hard. It's hard to value this stuff here too. It's timing and supply demand too. Like right now, because Upper Deck is losing the license on it,
Hmm.
on stuff, they're just putting out all the sets that they plan to put out probably over the years in like a small amount of time. Like that masterpiece set that I opened up yesterday on stream. Nobody knew about that set at all. Like they just dropped it one day. It's like, hey, masterpiece is coming out like in a couple days. Like, what the fuck? Like, and then at the same time, like Matriarchs, and then Platinum 92, and Women of Marvel, and this. It's like the sets there's so many to collect. Like it's hard to keep up with it for like cost wise, because they're not cheap either. So I think that's just impacting price, because simple economics, supply demand. Supply like just like exploded. So PMGs from some sets are worth a lot, not much, but I think it'll like level out over time. We'll see here. So I think that some of the older ones like this are worth a lot more than the newer ones for now,
Right.
unless it's a gold Spider-Man or something like that. Then those are just insane. I have that gold Spider like $4.5 million or whatever from Tops. Nobody's bought it yet though. It's like up for sale. It's like it's ridiculous.
Dang.
It's like more than like
Yeah.
rookie 10.
Now with those Bianchis behind you, I mean, did you pick up any of those from Simone, or are they all
Yeah,
after?
I did. Yeah,
I
so they're
thought
all
you mentioned that. Yeah.
all over the place. So some of them were aftermarket. Some of them were from Simone's, sister Gloria. Gloria,
Hmm.
she's like represents. So she had some from that she reached out to me when I was collecting them. Some were traded for. Some I've actually had more. I sold some too, because there's so many. Like I listed a few for auction, and yeah, it's just acquired them from all various places. Some were on eBay, some were on Heritage, some were direct, some were from Matt DiTullio. He's like, I have that Falcon was from Matt DiTullio. Yeah, so they're all over the place. Now moving into the newer sets though, after this is like the one that I got into art. Like the Dormammu from this set was my first one. So that's why I had a lot of them. But after that, Dan Dos Santos, he was the set after Palumbo, 2022. That's where, attended an event and, got to get it from the artist directly before the set comes out, which was awesome, to do. And like the other collectors that were like very, into this hobby, 15 of us were able to get, pieces from the set. So that was 2022. And I have a couple of those are out there. Can show those here on the wall. Do another Cribs tour for you.
I feel
So
like I saw the Thor on the wall
yes,
when you were going by.
yeah, flashed in
That
there.
was one of my favorites.
Yeah, show that one here. So here's the Thor from that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Damn, that was so nice to see in person. Gee.
Yeah, and the prelim. So the one I was going to show is right above it though, the Mojo World.
Oh yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yes, so that's a three piece card. Mojo Dazzler long shot.
So do you think that Dos Santos is given the direction to make a three-piece card, or does he do that kind of thing on his own, do you think?
He's talked about it before a few times in some interviews, and he gets Upper Deck would give the list of characters, to paint and what not to paint. I don't know. That'd be a good question to ask him if he gets to pick which ones are like the triptychs or the, two characters like the cloak and dagger. If he decides like to do that way, or if they're told like, dude, cloak dagger together one painting, because they separate them out for the cards anyways. So
right.
yeah,
But you would
maybe
think,
it's a way to save time. Like, oh crap, like it's like I have 1 week. Let me make like a mural of like all the characters, like Alex Ross or something,
right.
Alex
The
Ross.
first time they did the 9 cards on one board, it was because they were trying to save time. But why not, right? I mean, I don't know. It kind of makes sense.
So Hildebrand did that too. So one of the ones I was going to show from coming back a couple of years, also in 2017, like right after the Jusco set, they had Fleer Ultra Spider-Man come out, which had a bunch of artists too, and Hildebrands contributed to that, and they made a triptych. And this is one that I was going to bring last year but didn't because I forgot it. But up here, this is a Hildebrand. On the Hildebrand wall here of Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, and that's from Fleer Ultra Spider-Man 2017.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that one's awesome. So nice. The fire, the lights, very Hildebrand. So, and that was the 3 cards that they made from the 2017 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man set. Yep. So that one's cool. So they did the same thing, 3 in 1, and it happens pretty often. Actually, I'll pick up again. So Flare, the most recent set that came out from Marvel Flare, Megan Hutchinson did one that very similar to it. It reminds me a lot of it, so I put them next to each other. The Spider-Man. And they're actually 2 separate paintings, but they kind of almost fit together for the 2 cards. You can see the similarities in the colors.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's inspiration there one way or another. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, frame that one in kind of like a shadow box type. See like the words on it.
Oh yeah. Oh cool. So those were on panels, looks like.
Yeah, yep, they're on panels. So I like to see the the edges of it. Yeah, it's kind of a new framing style, like ones that are on like thick board or panels. Right? I like to show the edges, like the Hildebrandt ones that had showed. I actually frame without matting, so you can see the edges on it, which I think is really neat. But the other ones like Bianchi, they're paper. It's like watercolors, so can't show the edges of the paper. So that's the way I like to do the framing on them. Yeah. So the I think there's skipped. So that was from Flare, and that was another masterpieces. It was one set. Universe one set. Fleer Ultra is another kind of format. All from Upper Deck. Flare is another one from the 90s that came out. Those are like the top quality ones from there. They redid it in 2019 and again last year. So 2019 had some amazing art that I think all over many people. Palumbo had some. So I got a Tom Fleming Venom from that, and this one. This is from 2019. Where this one doesn't have museum glass on it though, so it's very glary. I need to get that redone. Yeah, you can see the difference in museum glass compared to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
the one that he had framed, or did you didn't frame that, right?
No, I didn't frame this one. I got this from somebody else. So
That's
it's
really
framed
nice.
really well. It's just the glass needs to be museum glass, so it's not so glary.
Yeah, I like Tom's work a lot. I mean, he's pretty prolific.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Tom, some people were thinking Tom was going to be doing a masterpieces set himself, because he is prolific, but ended up being Grego, which his stuff is incredible too. He hasn't put out his art yet. He showed a lot of it on the stream yesterday, and I think a lot of people are just like drooling for like, how can I get some? Like I am. Yeah. So
Kazra said in the chat, "Show us your Tolken Hildebrands." You don't have a Tolken Hildebrandt, do you?
Yes, I do. I have two.
I still
Yeah.
have the calendars from when I bought them.
How about I show the calendar first, and I'll show you the art.
Yeah, let's do that.
'Cause, all right,
Killing me,
so
man.
yeah, so Hildebrand, along with the Star Wars and Marvel, they did calendar art. So this is one of the calendars. This one's 2006. It's called The One Ring, and you can, on the back you see the other. I didn't open it up, but like these are some of the the art that they had done for Lord of the Rings in the 70s. Galadriel, Elrond, Rivendell, Hobbits, the Red. So it's the one on the cover here, and here is the original painting.
Oh man, that's crazy.
It's massive too.
You got the right frame for it too.
Yeah, say
That's
like here's like my
beautiful.
hand. You can see how big it is.
Yep.
Banana for scale. Put bananas. Banana on there.
If you could hold up your son, and he'd be about the size of that hobbit right now.
Thanos for scale.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. The other one I have is I could show it here because I have. You can see like I have some stuff like just on the. I took some stuff off the wall for this, but this one's here. It's the one of them traveling on their way to Mordor. It's up by Cirith Ungol. This is the Cirith Ungol one. My hand right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can see down there the hobbits and the golem.
Wow.
And it's cool because you can see at the bottom like for the month, like they painted in the banner where which month it would be on the calendar.
That's just amazing, Steve. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah, that one. I need to do museum glass on that one too. Yeah, so those are the two Tolkien Hildebrands. There's another one I was thinking about getting as well for the Palantir. It's like Saruman.
Mm-hmm.
Palantir. I've seen that one up there for a while. That one's awesome. Like I like the scary, evil looking art a lot. Last year at OAX too was the Korshak collection. Korshak collection
Right, with the Balrog.
Yeah, that one.
That was pretty spectacular to see.
Yeah, my favorite piece there. And then I had the privilege to go and see in his home, like he has an art collection as well, like this classic sci-fi things. He has amazing collection. But that the Balrog one was my favorite piece seeing it. So I'll this is kind of like the same set from that there Balrog. So maybe let's trade one day. You want to do some trading, of course.
I don't know if I have anything I can trade, but yeah, I wish I did. But no, that's amazing. I mean, I'm speechless. I just can't believe even that the smaller pieces is as far as atmospheric and and a memorable image from them, that you have that one too. I mean, both of them are equally fantastic.
Yeah, when you just like take time and like look at it and like stare at it, Peter Jackson was inspired by their art to like make the movies,
Right.
from that. And like I have goosebumps right now thinking about it. But like I've read the books many times, and like when you look at those images, like that is what is in my head when I'm reading the books. Like they're like that's just the environment, the atmosphere. Like they captured it perfectly. So those paintings are incredible. They have the mood, the mood of the movies too.
Yeah.
So
No,
they're awesome. Yeah,
that's just amazing. The collection just keeps. What else are you hiding from us that we don't know?
Lots of things here. spend all week going through some stuff, man. I have another whole closet of. Oh, we'll get to it. So we can move on to some other things that have not been published.
Yes.
A few of the last things. Some artists that will be at the OAX too. I had from the sketch cards, getting them that we talked about earlier in the stream here is Ash Gonzalez and PJ were some of my favorite sketch cards. So I actually, had them do some commissions for me. And they, both of them, like, completely crushed it. So I'll show you some of those because they'll be at the event. So this is first one I'll show is Ash. So because of my favorite comic book being Infinity Gauntlets and Infinity War and Thanos Quest,
Damn.
he did a cover recreation of his style. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, he did a great job on that. Thank you, Ash. Thank you for taking time about it. It's awesome. His very unique hand with this is just awesome because I know who has the original art for this cover here, and he won't have it. So my favorite pieces I have somebody just redo, and that's what PJ did for me too. So Will, who had the Thanos of the Palumbo, the only one I'm missing, he also has my favorite Jusko Thanos as well, and he won't let go of it. So I asked PJ to redo it for me, and PJ did this one, and it's a recreation of a Jusko that is, I think, just as good, to be honest. So PJ did this commission of like Thanos on death on the throne.
Damn, that's incredible.
Yeah, and if you look on Comic Art Fans, you'll see, if you like look up Thanos Jusko, look through him, you'll see the original from it, and I mean he did a great job capturing it, but doing it his way. I mean, it's just like, dude, PJ's. I'm so glad that he's going to be coming, to the event because they're just personally, I think, they deserve all the attention that they can get for their art and appreciating it. He does like Ninja Turtle stuff too, that is incredible, and they do it very quickly too. So great upcoming artists that love inviting them out there to it. Another one is Miles Wolf.
Miles as well, right? I was going to say because I know PJ and Ash and Perna are still taking a few pre-OAX opportunities for commissions, but I know that Miles did get filled up with his a little, well, probably like a month ago. So he's all booked. But you got some Miles pieces you're going to show us?
Yeah, this is Miles, not a commission, but this is one of the So yeah, Ash and PJ are doing commissions. You saw my commissions I got from them, freaking incredible. So definitely get some if you can. This is a Miles from Marvel Platinum. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is from Miles directly. He had, I think it was on his Patreon. Yes, this is a Sabretooth from which is awesome. Yep. And this is from that Marvel Platinum set that we were talking about earlier. Great
2023.
Yes, 2023.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's Miles has been around a while, and it takes a job like this to kind of get him on a lot of people's radar. But I mean, he was ready for it. I mean, the work's fantastic.
He's a nice guy. They're all such nice guys too.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you can say specifically, but Jeremiah said, I guess he's in construction. He'd be curious what kind of humidity dehumidifier system you'd have in place. I mean, you mentioned earlier that you had something special just for this room or this area of the house, right?
Yeah. I just have a portable one. This Frigidaire, and just kind of look at the volume, the cubic volume of the room you're trying to do, and then place it in there. The hardest part is finding like how to drain it out. So because like when I first started, when I got the house and I set the room up with the humidifier, I turned it on. I'm like, all right, I'll drain it every like couple weeks. I went back the next day. I'm like, oh my god, it's filled. So I ended up putting it in the corner over there, and the drain is just going into the sink permanently. So it's up elevated a bit there, and it does the room volume. And it's fine. There's a little, I don't know where my gauge is at. I think I just keep a little barometer of like what the humidity is in the room and make sure it's like there level. And it is. It's actually kind of sometimes too dry. Like it gets hot, and I'm wearing a hoodie right now too. I don't know why. It gets
I know it's really cold in Miami right now. Yeah, but those like I had one. I don't have one in this house, but those humidifiers actually have like pumps in them, so you can literally move the water up and into a sink or a basin or something like that.
That's what I
and
did.
have it almost anywhere in the house. Yeah, those are the ones to get. Marcus, I don't have one right now, but I should. I definitely should put one. I've been
Yeah. So,
wanting to. I'd like to put my art in the main house, but I have it in my office, which I don't even have an AC in here at the moment. So we got to get that fixed. That
where
broke
you
about a month ago.
you live in Florida? Or,
Yeah, I'm about a half hour north of Orlando.
okay, yeah. Well, yeah, Miami's definitely, more humid than Orlando. Like even my hair is all frizzy and stuff. I keep on doing it. That's how humid it is. So that's yeah. Just look at the volume of your room, and then you don't need like an industrial size one for like an office, but um, you don't want also a tiny one. Just think about the space, and then how you're gonna drain it, and then
Right.
yeah, fine. Yeah, so that's I think just a couple more here to show before we end here. I wanted to show Palumbo. This is here. So I don't have any Palumbo masterpieces, unfortunately, but I was able to get one of my favorite characters, him from the Flare set, which is Doctor Doom. And it's kind of a Thanos piece because this is God Emperor Doctor Doom, and that's Thanos's skull and spine that he ripped out. So
That's awesome.
yeah. Love Palumbo's like, darker characters like this. They're just so good.
Yeah, I love the way Palumbo layers his paint. It has such a texture to it. Um, you can see it in the finished work. You can see it in his prelims. But yeah, I've always liked his style. That's a really nice piece.
Yeah, Palumbo's style is very compared to Hildebrandt or Dan Santos and a lot of the others, like, which are very very colorful. His are very dark and like fire, smoke, and just have like I don't know, like to me like this one especially like haunting looks to it, which is great. Like he did a Ghost Rider, I think is incredible, as well for that set. So yeah, he's definitely very. All these artists, you look at them like immediately, like like okay, I know who the artist is by looking at that for 1 second because their style is just so unique. Bianchi, Dan, Dave, they definitely select. I think the best the best there is in the genre. For the sets and the cards for sure. Which is great because like a lot of art. When me and my wife we went to New York to the MoMA. And yeah, so MoMA has insane sets. Like I love classic art, like Renaissance art and stuff from the masters. But the modern art, like I don't know, maybe I'm just being like cynical or something, but like around 70s or 80s, like she was like, I feel like art died like at this time, like because everything just like looks so bad, like generic and shitty. And I'm not too much into like impressionists, like Polk throwing splatters on their stuff or whatever. I don't know, but it's to me, it's like like comic art and this art and magic art is like keeping kind of the masters alive, like that style of like realism and fantasy and technique and stuff. So it's why I really appreciate it too.
Exactly. No, I'm with you. I mean, I think that that's how the IX art show in PA was really born out of the desire to kind of keep artists working traditionally and
Yeah.
and just supporting those artists who work traditionally and commissioning traditional works, those sorts of things. It makes a lot of sense for those of us who appreciate that side of things. I went to art school in 86 to 91, so I was in the that period where art sucked. I mean, you couldn't you do whatever you want, and that's what the teachers kind of taught you to do. And it's no wonder I didn't keep making art after that.
Yeah. I think
But
music sucks now too, but there's a lot of great artists, but there's like those hidden gems in there too. Like music is like my passion and love. Very analytical on it, and I there's a lot of like modern music. I just when I turn on the radio, I think it just freaking sucks. It's like so easy to like like a beat loop there, and they're like mumbling stuff, and like this is terrible. Maybe it's a vibe or something, but there's those hidden like pockets of like just amazing like artists out there still that are doing things like the right way with with technique and with actually thinking about composition and so it's always it's never dead. Just gotta hunt for it.
exactly. Kaiser said it good too about the MoMA comment. Fine art died, but illustration flourished. It's
Yes,
true.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it's very apparent. Like going through the rooms, they have like the different eras, and it's like, and this is where it died. Right.
Right. Well, that's where installation art started, and the concept was more important than the end result in many ways. And
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, exactly. Or like the story too. Like I love Salvador Dali. I think he's
mhm.
amazing. And I went to his gallery in St. Pete, which is over by UCastra. I'm sure you've gone before. They had an MC Escher exhibit there once, and I love that. Like MC Escher's art is like smaller, like with the repetitive patterns. That was insane. And like Dali, he hated like Andy Warhol. He was like, "This is terrible." I think he like pissed on like one of his paintings or something too.
Andy Warhol would have taken a photograph of that and made a print out of it.
I know that's a different type of art, you know. It's like Banksy, you know, like the
Exactly.
softies thing. This is like showing it there, and like I'll buy $1 million, and like the trigger goes off and burns it. It's like it's it's the concept of it. It's not like the actual art technique. It's like what does it mean? The meaning behind it, I guess, which is cool, but it's not anything I want to hang on a wall and look at. It makes it what you talk about.
Exactly. But yeah, we need to do well, we have OAX, but there should be another Florida art collector get together. There's a lot of collectors down here. I mean, I think we could have like a mid-year thing, something early summer, late summer, something like that. We need to
Yeah,
have them because again, it's just I'm surprised I see in the chat always that there are a lot of collectors down here, and we could work in an extra meetup because I'm sure there's many of us who haven't gotten to meet in person, even with OAX out there.
yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, we'll put something together. Everybody, you guys are in Florida, and I am too. That Joe Jusko event, I hosted it at my place, here in Miami. I think it's very, very easy. I was even thinking about opening up, down here, a gaming, center that's actually a museum, for art, because I have so much here. I need to like, where's it gonna spill into? But also have it be call it the Mana Vault. So it could be like play Dungeons and Dragons, like a club, the gym, forget gym membership, get like your gaming membership. And also like, see art and the collectibles there, and make friends and meet up and have events there. So I think of doing something like that. But I got a lot going on, so in the future. So
one thing at a time, Steve.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm a dad, so I got to go like feed some milk to a baby now. So
I understand that. Those days are beyond me. My youngest is 19 now, but I remember those days. So, well, listen, man, we have less than 4 weeks now until the show. So we've got I know you've got a lot of things going on in the lead up to it, as do we. But I do hope that we'll get some time, either one of the nights at the show or sometime after the show. I would like to talk to you about the app. We can kick some ideas around on how we can make it cooler, and because one of
for
the
sure.
biggest things I think, CAF is always one of the difficult things with comic art fans is kind of giving people the best ways to discover artwork that's already there. When you have a site with a million pieces of artwork, um, there's a million different ways that you can curate and create discovery tools and things like that. And I think if there was anybody that I could talk to that could probably kick around the idea of scrambling data and coming up with interesting ways
Mhm.
to extract it into something. Because even like I was on the plane ride back from Ohio today, I literally how in a CAF gallery we pull out a list of artists, right? And we from the artists that you have, we don't show counts or anything. We just show the unique artists, and it reminded me of those dumb things, those words. I don't know what they're called when they have like when a keyword is really popular with regards to a set of
Yeah,
data, the word's bigger.
yeah,
And
the
I
word
thought,
bubbles.
yeah, wouldn't that be cool to have in like your it's just as an option to discover what's important in that collector's CAF gallery,
Yeah,
by artist or even by title. I think I was thinking, and I thought, but then I thought of you, and I'm like, I gotta ask Steve about some of this stuff
yeah,
because
yeah. You can take unstructured data. Take unstructured data of like artist names, titles, and you throw it into an indexing type of back end. Like Kafka or some type of machine learning.
right.
Big data storage, and then you could after you index it all, you can run analytics. With AI now, you can even have them like train on that and stuff too to recommend what people would have instead of the word bubble. Like they'll just know what you want to see. Yeah. So it's that's very capable to doing it as long as with unstructured data, just making it more structured. I had a business idea before Halborn started getting really successful. I had a fashion aggregating app and company I did with my partner from Halborn. It was called Eye on That, EYE on That. And I like fashion. It was consignment fashion. It would aggregate all of the different fashion platforms that sold things like Poshmark, Etsy, StockX, The RealReal, all of these different sites that just do consignment for like high-end luxury fashion. And it's like I didn't take inventory. I just scraped the data, put it together, and it would keep an eye on that. And you could browse all at once, like Kayak, for flights.
Sure.
So that's what we had to develop that, and great idea. It's not out yet, but doing this for comic art would be awesome too. Like there's Heritage, there's Comic Link, there's Comic Connect, there's so many things there too. It's just like having it all as centered with the community behind it would be insane, and very valuable for everything.
All right, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
but we won't do it before OAX. We'll wait till we get that behind us. But yeah, let's definitely have some conversations after the show, because yeah,
sure.
there's a lot there. That you figure we're sitting on 22 years worth of data, and we work with over 30 art dealers and have all of their data, and have all the information. There's a lot there. It's just a question of what to do with it.
An opportunity too that Casper and I had talked about this before, and completely capable of doing this. Because I've done it in smaller, like a virtual gallery, a metaverse, gallery of that you can explore. I think with like Apple Vision, came out recently. Meta has like their Oculus VR stuff, and the technology is advancing. Right now, it's I have all those, and they're very immersive, and they work great, but they're a little cumbersome. It's like you get a headache. Sometimes they're big and hard to set up. But once they make it refined, where like it's like a phone, you could just like put on like sunglasses and like go wherever you want on the internet. You having like a metaverse gallery on display to like see it and like walk around and like look at stuff rather than just clicking would be insane and perfect to do. And that's I've done some of that before with art, and it's platforms that do it. You can even buy on there and sell. See other people walking around with you. Like a video game. I think that's coming.
Virtual OAX, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
No, I was well. We've dabbled in a couple different virtual reality headsets and things, but there was one I saw today that they actually somehow do a 3D scan of your face. I'm not even sure how they do it, but then they make the mask so it fits perfectly to your face. But for me wearing glasses, I'm like reading through it. I'm like, I want to know what they did to make it better. Apparently, they actually will take your prescription and they can drop lenses inside that custom fit base layer for the faceplate, and then the actual screens just kind of clip onto it. And it's like, from what I read, it's like one of the lightest systems out there. So I didn't see a price on it, but that's the one I'd love to actually try that.
We'll soon have like Neuralink, like with Elon Musk. They plug it in there. You don't even need a face screen anymore.
Right,
just
exactly.
feed it into your brain. That's well pretty there. Like, but it's like Vision, Apple Vision Pro. When I got that, they use eye tracking. And then like just like clicking your finger like that, and it works extremely well. Like I was like, it sounds clunky, like laser tag, like you're shooting all over the place, but it's like way better than what was like 3 or 4 years ago of like the triggers that you have to hold on to and stuff, and doing it that way. So it's happening fast, and I think art being such a visceral experience, seems like this is an immersive way of doing something that way. Kind of like the next thing after like seeing it in person at an event.
Agreed. All right. Well, and Kazra had mentioned some of that to me. I'm very intrigued by it. I think that when you start thinking about,
I'll show you a little example here. I can share a screen because I have something similar for my band. I set up Dead Code Metaverse just for, let me share screen here and I'll show you a window. So so on like if you see this right now, yep. So it's on side of Dead Code, and like you can walk around and Music videos are like playing up on streaming up here. You can watch it. So here's like one of my songs videos. There, you wanted to look at the band members. You jump over. Yeah. Here's my three.
They're like trading card stats.
Yeah, exactly. They're all like NFTs. And this is, you know, like browse any of our sites. You can see our website, and click on into it. Okay, you want to go to our Spotify, click that, then it'll open up Spotify. So,
Slick.
Yeah. So same thing for like having.
Who needs a link tree when you can have that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's also multi, user. So like if somebody else jumps in there, you'll see them running around the same area. My wife's a photographer, so I set up like a photo studio of all of her portrait art, like inside of a little mini gallery. It's not as crazy space and stuff. It was more, artistic and private, white walls and elegant. You could build the world you want it well with it. So, that's took a day to make that. Pretty awesome. And anybody can browse to it. It's like you don't even just have an account. It's just like browse to it and you can start exploring because it's all.
And it works right inside your browser.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
Oh man, well, Steve, we could keep talking, but I actually haven't etten all day.
Yeah,
I flew here from Ohio, and I forgot to even eat lunch today. But again, we got less than 4 weeks until OAX, so I know we've got a lot of work to do. Even when we get there, you have a lot to set up when you get there. So I assume you're going to have some.
Well, yeah, help. I'm actually I have 2 conferences I have to do because my parents are going. They're going to be driving up the art and setting it up there, and I'll be there Friday evening. A little later because my Halborn actually hosting another conference on that Friday on the New York Stock Exchange. Like so at the exchange in New York, I have a conference called Access. It's for cybersecurity and blockchain. So that's a bunch of attendees coming, like MasterCard and Microsoft and PayPal. Are all there, and I'm doing the keynote for it. So it's really important. And then
you have to be there for that.
Gotta be there for that, yeah. And then I'll fly out right after that and come down to Orlando. So I'll be there, Saturday for late Friday, but Saturday morning.
So you've got somebody else setting up the box break screens and things.
Yeah, that'll probably be on Sunday. The box break.
Oh, okay. So
the booths and everything's very good. My employees, aka parents, are definitely gonna be doing there, and Jose as well will be there. So everything will be organized and good, and it's not scalable if you have to do everything yourself, anyways, right?
Right. Exactly. All right, cool, man. Well, listen, you need anything from us leading up to the show, you let me know. But it sounds like you have your hands full. But if there's anything we can help out with, we're here. Sounds good. Yep. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope you guys enjoyed the art, and look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks here, and everybody else too that can join the stream. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. And if you are coming to OAX, you'll get to see both of us in less than 4 weeks.